Yo, people. Oh my God. A lovely, lovely panel here tonight. And you know what? This is a inaugural Loose Cannons. And we've got a heck of a topic tonight. So let's get no further ado, man. Let's just get to it. And we've got I was just watching that, man. That was lovely. Oh my God. People, what's happening, man? What's good? What's good, everyone? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
Very good, bro. Very good, mate.
Oh my God. So listen, man. You know what? Man's getting all nervous and everything. I haven't hosted for a long time. So
You'll blend straight back in, my guy.
Oh man, listen, Loose Cannons, boy, this is it. And I just wanted to put it out there that these man's here. Oh my gosh, we did a stream a few weeks back, right? And the vibe was just so ridiculous. I said to these mans, we gotta do something on the regs. And you know what, man? I'm glad all you mans come through, man, because I feel blessed, man, to kind of have you guys on the stream again. It's great. It's great. G yes. Talks, bro. What's happening, G, man? It's good to see you, man.
I'm good, man. Like, I was so determined to get back because obviously work commitments. I don't often go to the office. I'm very fortunate. I do the whole hybrid, more work from home kind of lifestyle. But every now and then I have to get into the office, and today was one of those days. So yeah, early train, multiple meetings, multiple calls. But I was so determined, literally so determined to get back for this. I mean, I've been excited about the prospect of this show for a long time. Obviously, since, you kind of, spoke about, potentially making it a regular thing. So, I made sure I got on that train ASAP.
Bless, so, man.
I'm excited. I'm tired, but I'm excited for this. Particularly, obviously, what we're going to be debating and discussing is a real, I don't think it's such a foregone conclusion. I think it's a very interesting topic. So, I can't wait to get into it and obviously hear what you all think as well.
Listen, so I guess before what you kind of alluded to now, the title, I was going to bring it all mans and then come into the title, but you know what? Yeah.
Not bad.
But so everyone, the title and our discussion point, there's a couple of discussion points, but the main topic really today is, and it could divide a few people. I'm still not sure where I am, but in terms of achievement, what would you say is better? The current squad winning the league or the Invincibles season?
Who wants to go first?
So, before I do it, Gumsa, man. So I'm going to introduce you. So I'm just letting it out there for all the man. Gumsa, man, it's good to see you again, brother. How have you been, man? How's your week been?
Brother. Yeah, it's been all right. Being busy with the youth clubs. Done my first day training course again. It ran out the other week, so I couldn't. When someone said send your certificate, I sent it, and I was like, right, it's out of date. So I had to jump on a course quickly and get that done. So I'm back in date now. I can save lives again. But yeah, no, I'm all good, man. Looking forward to this one. Like, again, the panel is sweet. Like, it's good to have good conversation, like-minded people. But the title is kind of like, at first you think that's easy, and then when you actually sit back and think, actually, if this team does achieve the potential goal, we'll get into it. But yeah, it's not as easy as you make out. Do you know what I mean? Like, So I let Kunle come in first, and then we can start discussing.
Nigel, bro.
Oh yeah, now my people. It's your dark skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, Tonight, you go understand. And you know what? When man like G Talks is clearing his schedule for us, you know it's a big deal already. Everyone's there.
Like
Everyone's, you know, it's obviously going to pop off anyhow. Do you get me? So big up on the panel. I'm excited to chop it up. It's going to be an interesting debate, but at the end of the day, we all know what's what. Come on.
Really?
We'll see.
Really?
We'll see. But before we start here, I got to say something, man. And I need to come with some bars, man, because that intro, Nigel, is just
proper.
lit.
That's the difference between us and them, innit? That's the difference between us and him, bro. That's the difference.
With some lyrics, man.
Levels.
He's coming with some lyrics, man. Seriously.
G, I've checked your resume. Please don't. Let's not go there. Innit? I've checked your. The receipts are there, so let's just keep it moving for now, innit?
Oh my God, love that.
Big up, everyone, man. Smash the like button, my people.
Absolutely, and please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And obviously, guys in the chat, keep it going. I think there's a poll in there. If not, I'll get one in. But listen, everyone, let's kick this off. Let's kick this off, man. Evening all. I don't know how to kick it off, man. So I'm going to go straight to yourself, G. So we all think it is a foregone conclusion in terms of, you know, if this current squad with this current manager go on to win the league, in terms of that achievement and the Invincibles, how would you rank it?
I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like when you put the topic of discussion and debate, like kind of in the WhatsApp group or whatever, I just thought to myself, is this even a question? Is this even a debate? I mean, we're talking about the Invincibles. You know, I think sometimes it's easy to talk about football as a whole, you know, of all time. But I think sometimes it's a little bit unfair because obviously, you know, you growing up, you watch football for a period of time, you know. My conversation is going to be different to my dad's conversation. You know, my son's conversation is going to be different to mine. You know, we all were alive and watching football in different eras, different ages. So, you know, and it's an opinion at the end of the day. So it's very hard. You know, there is no kind of right or wrong answer in terms of these things. But I mean, we're talking about the Invincibles, arguably probably one of, if not arguably the best Premier League team, in my opinion, to ever do it. It's a feat It's a feat that has not been done, was not done, and has yet to be repeated. And I don't think you'll ever see it. And, you know, the epitome of that is when you speak to the great Sir Alex Ferguson, somebody of that stature, somebody who won the Premier League with Manchester United multiple more times than we did. Won European trophies, considered the GOAT in terms of, you know, British managers, Premier League managers, and he still put that team above anything that Manchester United or he built or Manchester United team that played. Now, I think that shut up a lot of critics.
There was always that debate, wasn't it? Was it the treble or the Invincibles? Which one was kind of?
There was always that debate, and I think that shocked a lot of people when he said that. But I mean, come on, like it's incredible, like to go a full 38 games a season long. You know, you're talking about all the great teams, you know, in all the great leagues that have not managed to do it. So it's an amazing feat.
Yeah.
And when you first posed the kind of debate or the discussion, I thought to myself, there's nothing that can compete to that. But at the same time, which I know Nigel's probably not gonna massively like what I'm gonna say, is if it comes to picking one of the two, I'm going to go through. I've argued the case for the Invincibles. Now I'm going to somewhat argue the case for this current squad. I think you've got to put into context this current team in terms of the individuals and in terms of the manager. You're talking about a team that nobody gave a prayer to finish even in the top 6. And I'm talking all media outlets, all pundits. I think you would struggle to find a pundit that had us to make top 4. Some may have picked us in top 6. We're talking about a manager that's, you know, is pretty much still learning. This is only his 3rd season or so in top flight football. And arguably, I don't think we have a single world-class player in this current squad. So for me, you know, forgetting the conversation of the Invincibles, and we're just looking at this team.
Partey, not world class.
It's debatable.
It's debatable.
You know, I think there are players in the Invincible side that it was just no debate. They were world-class players. Whereas in this team, some people would say Saka's on the verge or is world-class. I'm not even there yet with Saka.
I hear it.
So in terms of like, when you look at this squad, I mean, it will be some achievement for them to go on and win the Premier League. And I think, you know, there's a lot of talk about the Manchester United team of 2012 and 2000 season, how Fergie won it with them and they weren't that great. However, go and look at that team on paper. Arguably, it's better on paper than our current side. And I'm not talking about what your viewpoint or your opinion is of the team now. I'm talking about your viewpoint and your opinion of the team was at the beginning of the season. And that's the key. You know, a lot of us now have raised our expectations of this Arsenal side. But you need to think about winning the league based on what you thought about the team at the beginning of the season, not based on what they've shown you up to this point. Because up to this point, we're all expecting us to not necessarily win it, but to be there or thereabouts. None of us thought that at the beginning of the season. So you have to take that context into consideration. And I would go as far as to say, for me, if this Arsenal side win this Premier League, it is the most greatest Premier League triumph other than Leicester City winning it. Like I can't think, and I can only go by, like I say, the football I've watched and the Premier League history that I've seen unfold in front of my eyes. I don't think anything will ever top the Leicester City anomaly of winning the Premier League. I really don't. I think in many ways that is just never going to be matched. I mean, they finished 14th the season before, and they won the league the next season. But if you look at this current side, based on expectations, based on the squad itself, the manager, it would be a phenomenal achievement in my opinion. And I'm going to go as far as to say I think it could be somewhat more impressive than what the Invincibles did.
It's a difficult one.
He leaves that one on a bombshell. You know, like the EastEnders
You know, I hear what G Talks is saying. I'll be honest, because again, we could sum up real easy. We could do a 1 to 11 who gets in, and this current squad, you're maybe talking 1. I think everyone would say maybe Saka could sneak in on the right hand side. But apart from that,
you could sneak in.
I don't think anyone else.
It's real talk. It's real talk.
That's recency bias. Do you know what I mean? That's just because we're watching him week in, week out, and we're obviously not watching.
Someone going to tell me Zinchenko is better than Ashley Cole.
Ashley Cole. Do you know what I mean? So, in terms of what you're saying, G-Talks, I hear you. I said when you first put the question, I was like, is this even a real debate? Like, the Arsenal's achievement in that Invincible season is probably the best achievement Premier League wise. Like, I know City have got more points than us. United won the treble, but I said that's different because that's not just the Premier League. That is, they had an amazing season. Their season was maybe better, but in terms of Premier League, it's not a better achievement. Do you know what I mean? So, there's no better achievement than that. But actually, the expectations, what you're saying is correct. Also, I think what you got to look at is the state of the league. So this plays a big part. That season we won it, I would say there was 3 teams. It was Arsenal, Chelsea, United. I've just pulled up the table.
Were probably up and coming.
Yeah, they were up, but they finished second that year.
Liverpool were involved too. You know,
Liverpool came 4th, but they were on 60 points. They were 15 points behind United in 3rd. So even if you take the top 4, yes, Liverpool always been in and around it. But the rest of the league, the difference between that and now is completely different. There's no easy games now. Anyone could beat anybody. Do you know what I mean? You've got teams in the bottom half of the table spending millions. Look at Nottingham Forest, what they come up and done. So if you look at the state of the league then to what it is now, it's harder, I feel, to kind of beat these lesser teams. Like back in the day, you would expect Arsenal to run over your Leicesters, your Man City finished 16th in that season. Tottenham were 14th, Portsmouth 13th, Middlesbrough 11th, Birmingham 10th, Charlton were 7th, Bolton were 8th, Villa 6th, Newcastle 5th. So you turn that around to look at now. Could you imagine that Bolton team playing Brighton? Do you know what I mean? Like if you compare what Brighton are doing compared to that Bolton team probably was doing.
That's so true. That's so true because if you look at it, if you check it, teams like Nottingham Forest spending £40 million on one player. Don't kind of. I know the money, you know, in terms of inflation, whatever goes up, and there's more money. However, that 40 millions now is probably equivalent of a good like 10, 15 million, 20 million pound player back in 2004, and that was a lot of money in them days.
Yeah.
And could anyone in in the bottom 4 or 5 places be spending that kind of money back then in 2004? I don't think so.
No, and I think this is the big difference. It's the money in the Premier League now is completely different. So to win in this environment where all 20 teams are competitive, it's that. Do you know what I mean? You look at the Arsenal team back then. Again, I remember there was never no stress going into a match. Do you know what I mean? It was just like,
it's when are they going to score? When are we
going to beat these lot? Like it was such a different atmosphere. Do you know what I mean? Compared to now, where I'm looking at other teams and I'm thinking, geez, they got some players in there, or I'm actually looking at Fulham and saying their midfielders are better than ours. And
I'm just waiting to get tagged in when you're ready.
You can come in whenever you want, bro.
Come on,
you come on whenever you want. There's no kind of like you next to whatever.
All right, cool. Because I'm hearing everything that Gumsa is saying, but I like to disagree about something. He said obviously the quality of the league has got better, Brighton's and all that sort of stuff, and I agree to an extent, right? But let's not get it twisted out here. The Premier League, historically, any team can beat any team. That's always been the Premier League. You can say the teams are better now or whatever. There's always been like Bolton, even though they weren't playing good football, they'll upset you with their style of play. It's unorthodox, but they'll upset you. They'll make it difficult for you. I think the biggest difference now is more teams in the Premier League are able to play good football, like the football they want to play. I'd say that. But the Premier League has always been a situation where any team can beat anyone. And no disrespect to this team that we have right now. If we win this league this season, obviously, just block me on social media first of all. But after that, it'll be nothing less than sensational. Sensational is the word that I use for these guys, because not only did we get written off last season, people were like saying, these lot, that was their best chance to get Champions League football. They're going to finish 6th this year, this, that. Pre-season Arsenal, all these different things people were saying about us before the season started. And now, after everything we've done, the narrative would be, if we choke, then it's the biggest choke in Premier League history. How do you go from the 5th finish to pretend to challenge in the league champions, and then if you can't beat the league champions, you've won the last 4 or 5, then it's the biggest choke in Premier League. Like, anyway, these social media, they just get a little bit too excited. They want an excuse to abuse Arsenal, but just like G said, there is arguably no world-class players in this side. Arguably.
That's the thing. With the Invincibles, you can wheel off Armoury, Bergkamp, Campbell, Pires, Vieira, Gilberto, Cole. And then up and coming. I mean, Cole probably at that time wasn't world-class.
We looking back,
Do you know what I mean?
In the Invincible year? Nah, Cole was, I'm saying it here.
No, he was brilliant, but he wasn't classed as a world-class player.
World-class.
I would equate him to now.
Class, hey. I don't care what you're telling me. Well, Ashley Cole in the Invincible year was the best left back in the world. I hate him, but when he was at our club in that Invincible year, I'm not talking about the first Premier League he won. I'm talking about the Invincible year. He was the best left back in the world at that point. So how could he not be world class?
I think.
Who was better than him? Tell me 3 left backs better than him. So I don't. If you're the best in the world, like what are you?
You could be the best in the world, but it could be a bad bunch. So I can't class you as world class right now.
Okay, so hold on. Have you ever? No, wait, hold on.
Let me a world class keeper. Let me a world class keeper right now. You probably got Alisson and Edison. Do you know what I mean? Like people would say
Gumsa.
Donnarumma was world class,
Yeah,
but I'm not really convinced on him.
I don't know.
Gumsa, have you ever said a world class striker was not the best striker in the world was not world class? Have you ever thought that in your head?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought the best winger in the world is not world class?
No, I hear what you're saying.
Let's be
saying.
Yeah, let's be
I hear what you're
so
saying.
I hear what people are saying about this team, and the achievement will be unprecedented. Like to consider the amount of money that all the teams have, and how people wrote us off, etc., and how we then have world class players. But, bruv, invincible. Are you not hearing the word? Invincible, bro. Like nobody can touch me. Do you understand? Like everybody is coming to our ground thinking, yeah, we're gonna be the first team to take the L off these guys. Nah, brother. None of you.
Well,
We were unmatchable. No. Wait, hold on. We were unmatched by anyone. All this Leicester. I heard someone in the comment section talk about Blackburn, bro. The greatest ever Premier League win is Arsenal's invincible season until someone else does it. You could go through you dream of these things as a coach to go through a whole season without holding an L in your league. Are you joking me, bro? At this team, for me, this team is more comparable to the 98 winning side for me because we kind of hadn't won it for a while. People weren't really expecting Arsenal to win it. Arsene Wenger was an unknown coach, unknown entity, really in the Premier League.
Players, though.
Yeah, we did. But who did they consider world class when we started that season?
Bergkamp.
Ian Bergkamp, okay.
Adams.
Okay.
Overmars.
Seaman.
True. That's quite a lot there still. hey, but you know what I mean in terms of. But no one expected us to win the league, even though we did have those players. You are right. We had the. How can I forget such talented players? But they were world class.
Let me
just say one thing quickly. I think the most impressive thing about that Invincible win was Wenger called it the year before. Yeah, and you'll say he's out of his mind.
No,
you know what I mean? It's about
2 years before.
2 years before he said we could go unbeaten, and we didn't do it that year. But then, it's that not the arrogance of it, but it's that belief he instilled in them. Do you know what I mean? Because again, some things happen. Like I think when Liverpool got close that year, or was it City, where you got to Christmas, you say, right, these men ain't lost yet. Maybe they can do it, and then you start believing. But Wenger saw it from 2 years before that. He was like,
that season we went the whole season away unbeaten. We only lost at home.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's when he come out of it. It's like, right, we ain't lost away all season. We can go all season without losing here.
And this is when everyone thought we died at remember Leeds beat us that season before and done our dance. Everyone's like, okay, this is the end of Arsenal or this one, man, you won the league. And there was a lot of pressure as well for Wenger. So that team for me, there's something special of that team, man. I love this team, and to be honest, this team are in line to potentially majority of this squad going out and having legendary status if they win this league this season.
100%.
Like
100%.
For what has been done. So I'm not taking anything away from them, but bro, invincible. Problems. Remember at school when you talked about my team? But did you beat us though? My answer was, but did you beat us?
Rights, isn't it?
But did you beat? No, I hear what you're saying, bro. But did you beat us?
Did you beat us?
It was long. It was long.
Right, you drew, but did you beat us?
Literally. How many L's did we have that season? How many? Bro, tell me how many. I'm not even sure. Tell me. Bro, it was unbearable, man, for everyone.
I hear that.
It's mad.
G. I know you wanted to learn something.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is. Yeah, it's like I don't want to obviously undermine what the Invincibles were, because I'm telling you that that Invincible side was, like I said, it's an incredible feat. It's just that I don't think we can underplay just what a big achievement it would be for this team to win this league. No doubt. And I think Brenny kind of put it in the comments there. Like with regards to that team, we were title challengers.
We knew we were.
There was a certain level of expectation, and I think we were expected to win the league. that season.
Nah,
Well, most
remember
of it was
Man
like
U
one
won
or
the
two,
league
wasn't it?
the
It's
year
either
before.
us or
Yeah,
Man
but
United.
we were
Yeah.
as
It was
Arsenal
always,
fans.
it was always
we
a
were-
2-horse race. It was always
Yeah,
a
As
2-horse
Arsenal
race.
fair
fans,
enough,
we're
fair
going
enough.
into the season thinking if we don't, like,
us
we
or
should be
them.
there or thereabouts, like
Mhm.
100%. Obviously, we didn't always win the league because of Man United. One of the reasons why I hate them so much. But ultimately, there was a certain level of expectation. You just have to look at the players on paper, that team on paper. I mean, expectation was high. I just can't, like I say, I'm not. It's hard for me to say if this team wins the league, it's better than the Invincible, because really and truly, like you said, Kunle, it's Invincible. It's like it's the epitome of achievement. To go a whole season without defeat it's just unheard of. However, I do think it is an argument. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. I do think you will find sections of the fan base out there that will think or deem this a greater achievement. And I got to go back to, somebody kind of touched upon, like, you've also got to take into consideration the landscape of the Premier League. We touched upon, like, the teams that were competing, etc., etc. What were your expectations, Kunle, going into this season?
For me,
Fourth
top
would have been great.
4, bro. Top 4. I thought we could sneak the potentially third place max, but yeah, top 4 was my target. And to win the Europa League. Top 4 and you win the Europa League.
You know where you,
No, me.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, but
this season. This season was top 4. Nah, bro. Hey.
Let me switch it.
Nah, Cannons, don't ever say that to me, bro. I said top 4 and the Europa League. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. So
that's what you wanted, but what you expected, I'm pretty sure it's top 6.
Nah, bro, top 4, bro.
For me, I wanted top 4. I wasn't confident we would get top 4. I think there is a slight difference.
I was,
but the thing for me is that when you're looking at the two sides, I mean, you're going into the season when we were invincible, believing that we were going to be part of the title race, and chances are we were going to win it or we were going to come second. When you look at this team going into the season, I don't think many of us thought we would be in a title race. Most of us would be wished or hoped for or expected, based on previous seasons, 8th and 5th, we expected a minimum of top 4. However, I'm not sure many of us believed we would make top 4.
Really? Really?
I think it was.
Nah, bro, I disagree, man.
Let me
when are you saying? Are you saying in the summer, after pre-season, or at the start of the season?
So for
after pre-season,
we finished 8th.
After pre-season, majority of the fan base was saying top 4. Come on, let's be.
But everyone was gassed.
No, but you can't give them the reasons for it, bro. The fact is what was said, isn't it? What was said was what was said.
I was expecting us to finish top 4 because that was the only way I could legitimize Arteta staying in his job.
Yeah,
was 100%. If there was progression. 8th, 5th. If we finished 5th or below, I'm thinking, bruv, what are you doing? Season on,
he would have to go for me.
And there's no progression. We needed top 4, especially after the way we kind of collapsed in that season. I think it was so important that this season we got back into the Champions League.
I don't know if you remember,
but in terms of what I believed, I don't know what I believed, to be honest.
I remember on the stream before the season started, I said I'm not even going to measure our progress on our position. I don't know if anyone was on with me, but I said actually, to look at progress, I'm looking at points. And actually, if we finish 15 points better off but still end up 5th, I can't be mad at Arteta because, do you know what I mean? Whoever it was that finished in the top 4.
I wasn't giving him that slack, man.
I had to because you could finish on 80 points and finish in 5th. Like, you could then can't look at if you finish on 60 the year before, 65, and then you get to 80, but someone gets 86. It's like, what more could you do? Because 85 points will win you the league some seasons. It's just unfortunate. City, Liverpool, and Chelsea have had an unbelievable year. Again, you have to look at the 6 it was now. Back then, it was a free. And that year, it was a free. It was Arsenal, Chelsea, United. You're talking now, really and honestly, Liverpool. Any season, it could be any of 6. Arsenal could easily finish between 2nd and 7th.
Yeah,
without being bad. Do you know what I mean? It could be Chelsea go on a run, Liverpool could go on a run, Tottenham could have a good season. Chelsea, like, you can't really. I would say City and Liverpool. You say them two are gone every year. The last 5 years, it's kind of like the top 2 is them 2. 3rd and 4th is a pick of 4. Do you know what I mean? And you just got to hope your team's in it. So, like, again, that whole run, we went 20 years in the Champions League. I don't think you're really going to see many teams now doing that. Like City might hold
Especially in the
that
Premier
record for
League.
about 10 years, and all of a sudden they might drop into 6th. You've seen United have dropped
Yeah.
out. Tottenham, Liverpool are going through it now. Chelsea are going through it. So
Mm.
that whole era that Arsenal had of just dominating and just being top 2, I don't think you're going to see it for a little while. That
For a
that
long
kind of
while.
domination.
There's too much
People
money
are going to have
coming
bad seasons.
there's too much money coming into
Yeah.
football.
But
Do you know
can
what?
I just throw one thing in, Callum? I know
Yeah,
you haven't spoiled much. But can I throw one thing in just to kind of back these boys up what they're doing now? Stat came out the other day. If Arsenal win the league this season, this is the youngest ever football team to win a Premier League.
This is it, man.
And I think that has to play a massive part in
That's a
this
you just
debate
threw in a
now,
curveball. I
because
can't lie. Still,
we all speak about United when they
little
had
curveball
Beckham and them lot
still.
come through. And this
And what
Arsenal
if-
team has a younger average age than the Beckhams, the Butts, the Nevilles. So it just shows you what these lot are, the level they're playing at such a tender age. Like I think that has to go into it, because United won it with kids, they said, but the
This
other
is
players are
babies then.
older. Yeah, the other players are older, so it counterbalanced. Do you know what I mean?
And
Our
what if
older
this
players
team-
are just touching 30. You're
Yeah.
talking Partey and Xhaka are touching 30. The rest are all 25 and below. So that also has a major point, because
She said
average, the
Jorginho
age
boosted
people
up
say,
that average a little bit.
yeah, he
still.
brings it up a bit, don't he? But people say what you peak at, say, 28. Do you know what I mean? And so we've only got 2 over that age, or 3 now with Jorginho. The rest are in that middle 23, 20, and then we still got some babies at 21, 22. Do you know what I mean? So the back 4, all of them under 26. Like, that's crazy.
That's
Do you know what I
Wait,
mean?
the
2
back
centre
5.
backs. Yeah, including your keeper. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's
Youngest
Tomiyasu.
team in
You
a
know what I mean?
while.
It's a young team. Do you know what I
unprecedented
mean?
right now.
Look at the age of the front 3. Obviously, Jesus is injured.
You know what?
But take
That
Jesus
age
out.
thing is a big deal. I won't lie.
Nketiah is 23. Martinelli's 21. Saka's 21. Like,
Also, you
that
got to
as your
remember the
crazy.
2004 Invincible team had World Cup winners in there.
We've got Premier League winners in there.
Premier League
It was
winners,
a
World Cup
world-class
winners.
team.
We've got Champions League winners in there. Champions League winner, sorry, winner. not winners.
Winner.
Europa League, La Liga winners in there.
Listen,
Yeah.
so
A couple man, bro. But you know what? You lot said, what was it? Gumsa said it was a 3-horse race in the Invincible season. Like, how many horse races are in this season?
Now, it started the season. I don't think anyone looked past Arsenal, United, Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, it's weird because it's
You see what I did there, brother?
start of the year this year. I would say it's a 2-horse. Maybe Chelsea may have pushed them, but I think it's the best of the rest. I think that's the big difference. Like in them Invincible years, it was a 3-horse race to say Chelsea were just coming into it, but the drop off underneath that was crazy. Whereas, as I said, City and Liverpool, you put them there, but Tottenham, Arsenal, Chelsea, United, Leicester a couple of years ago were in and amongst us. Do you know what I mean? It's the best. It's the best of the rest. I think's improved, not actually the two. Yeah. So
I know
it was a.
You know, Gumsa talks about the age.
I see what you tried to do there, Gumsa. So.
I know it's not realistic, or maybe it is realistic. I don't know, but it's not likely to happen. But you know, Gumsa talks about the age. We talk about the landscape of the Premier League, the money that's in the Premier League, etc., etc., the age of the squad. What about if this team accumulates more points than the Invincibles as well?
You know that.
But that's the thing. You know what? The great Brian Clough always says, yes, you can win the league, but you can always win it better. Even if you check the Invincibles, you can they can win the league better.
Why are you doing shit like that?
What if they accumulate more than 90 points? What then?
Let's not be bad man and say what if. You know they're gonna accumulate.
Next season,
let's not bullshit that. We know where they're.
If that's the case, we have to do another show at the end of the season, innit?
Okay, then we'll revisit it then. Yeah. This is the what if show, innit? Yeah, the what if. So
we got to secure that title first before I can speak to that G talk, boy. Let me secure it first.
No, I'm just saying, innit? Like we're talking if this team can win it. So to put it into context, like, you know, the age thing is only relevant if we win it. And the points tally will only be relevant if we win it. But what I'm saying is if the youngest team in Premier League history win it with a greater point margin than the Invincibles, what we say?
Wait, have we I'm asking. I know Eddie Howe's the youngest manager. I was going to ask, is it the youngest manager? Would he be the youngest manager to win?
He'll definitely be. He'll definitely be the most inexperienced.
He must be the youngest manager to win the Prem. If he wins
100%.
If he's not the youngest, he's definitely.
He must be. I'm thinking like, how? Yeah, surely, right?
Right,
Yeah, yeah. It's not been that many winners of it, so he's got to be surely the youngest.
He's definitely younger than Wenger, Ranieri, Jose, Fergie,
Ferguson.
Pep.
Who was Blackburn manager at the time? Souness?
The youngest manager,
Dalglish.
according to this,
yeah,
the
yeah.
youngest manager to win it was Jose Mourinho at 42.
Yeah. So
How old is Mikel?
39.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's not still in his 30s, surely not.
Yeah. Me and him went to school together.
No,
innit?
he's 40. He's 40.
He's 40 now. Okay.
So youngest manager, youngest team, more points than the Invincibles. Chat to me, come.
Where's his more points coming from?
We don't get points yet, too. Please.
Oh,
Yeah, but if they do that'll make it the argument interesting, because obviously the youngest manager winning
look,
the youngest team.
James
Eddie
is
Howe is 40.
right.
Swear down.
45.
No, he's not 45. Eddie Howe's not 45.
Yeah,
Is
he
he?
could be.
Oh
No,
no,
I
but he might be, you know, because when he first came in the Prem, he was quite young. So how old he? Yeah, so he's actually he might be, you know.
Yeah, he's
45 is
45.
young, kind of.
Hey,
45.
it is a good one actually. Brian Clough, how old was he when he led Derby to the league? Because I tell you that
It wasn't the Premier League. I beg. It wasn't the Premier League. We free that.
He was in the Prem, yeah. So you lot talking
Yeah, free
sport.
that.
That's a different sport to me. That's not talking
Sorry, Luke.
basketball. You're talking
Big up, Luke.
72.
You lot are cold, man. You lot are cold.
We got Luke,
Just
man.
young guns, innit?
Smash the
No
light.
respect.
I don't bring that
one
blind
thing though,
Clough
Brian
stuff in
Clough
here.
he did say, yes, you can go the season unbeaten, but you can do it better. And the Invincible season can be bettered.
Yeah.
How?
It's not perfect.
Win every game.
Yeah, by winning more games, that's the only difference.
Yeah,
And this team aren't invincible, so they're not.
true. But as we said, the Chelsea team, I think, who won the league the next season, amassed more points than the Invincible team.
I think
But
what it is,
did they
you can't
win?
take
Did
away.
they lose any games?
They did.
Okay.
You can't take away, like, I mean, you know, if push comes to shove, you can't take away the fact that
Yes,
you
James.
know the Invincibles didn't lose a game. And I think 99% of us as a fan base, you know, would you know, if we had to really be pushed on a decision, I can't, you know, it's hard to go. It's like the whole Mayweather thing, like he was never beaten in it. It's like I wouldn't put him down as like, don't get me wrong, for me he's one of the greatest.
No, he's the greatest. Greatest ever.
For me, he's not.
He's good.
Before
Hey,
we go down,
this is a football show.
It's a different stream, yeah. But one thing,
for sure.
That's-
But he's the goat.
I
We'll
would
talk
love
about
to
this
go in
off
that
stream.
debate.
yeah, it depends how you're looking at it and how you're measuring it. And I do honestly feel like some Arsenal fans out there will look at the context if we were to win the league and say, nah, this is the greatest, like this is the greatest achievement based on like, where we were, what we were expecting, etc. But you can't look beyond the Invincibles, like you can't, because there is nothing better than not losing a game. I mean,
bro, it's a different level of chest, bro. The chest is just different. As in, I get double deep breaths everywhere I go. What? Chat to me, talk. Hey, don't raise your voice to me, you know.
It's
I'm
like
unbeaten.
when you got Liverpool, Man United talking about Champions Leagues and that, I'm like, listen, Breggie, we got the gold trophy, man.
Gold trophy. There's only one of them.
Do you know what I mean? So in a way, it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna sit up here and just like try and just undermine what we did when that's my go-to argument.
And on the back of what G said there, let me not lie to you guys. If we are to win this league, I'm prone to maybe say anything on that day, isn't it? But as of right now, that team cannot come near the Invincibles. But ask me on that night, if you dare ask me. Hey,
I'm telling you,
anything can come out.
20
Anything
years,
can come
almost
out.
2 decades, of her. I'm telling you, we're going to be saying the most crazy stuff if we win.
Oh, it's wild.
I'm telling you, I already know I'm crying on stream, innit? I know I'm crying on stream. I'm telling you now, I'm crying on stream. Rago, live. Like, you know, the bogeys, the dripping night, all of that snot, yeah. All
it's
of
emotional,
that.
Isn't it?
Yeah, bro. And no one can chat to me. Make me a freaking, like, TikTok, I don't care, bro. My team just won. Hey, I'm good. Hey.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Listen,
dream.
there's only one club in North London who can say that for the last, what 70 years, 60, 70 years or whatever.
I don't even know anymore.
So
that era doesn't, as I said, that era doesn't even recollect in my brain. I can't even go that far back. Even
the reason why I'm keeping that in there so long, this chat, is Jordan, you probably missed the start where your guy, I'm not sure if you're a United.
Nah, Jordan's actually an Arsenal fan. Jordan, you're slipping here, bro. I don't know what's going on. Jordan, we'll talk off screen.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Wow. Because even Alex Ferguson at the top of our show, I mean, it was noted that even Alex Ferguson said that, you can't.
If you're a United fan, go talk to your gaffer, man, because he thinks otherwise.
Exactly.
That's definitely a good, man.
Oh my gosh, I so wanted to kind of start reading out some of the chats that were coming in, but you guys, man, were just keeping this going. You know what? The thing is, hey, listen, James, you need a slap, brother. Me and you, James. You know, all man was schooling James on centre backs the other night, on the proper centre back.
He missed out. He missed out on proper football, boy.
He missed out on proper football, 100%. But yeah, cheers, Silver. Listen, I want to wrap this up, and the thing is that, you know, we could debate this for hours on end, but really, I just want to touch on one point, and it's another kind of kudos really for the squad that is what we have right now. Even if we do or we don't win the league, going on to win the league, but I just want to say, just guys, give me your thoughts on this squad's togetherness and bringing back the feel good factor of watching this team right now. For me, I just see loads of even like, you know, it's not like PR stunt kind of photos, you know, from what you used to see in the days of David Luiz and all those kind of, you know, in training, they look like, you can see that, hey, look, I'm laughing now, take a picture. It's just all natural. They're all having a good time. You can see I remember seeing a few years back, you know, the pitch stuff. I can't remember. I think Alexis Sanchez scored a goal. He went running off. Half the team went off. And half the team went to celebrate with him.
Yeah, I remember.
Now we're getting everyone. Doesn't matter. Running over to the bench celebrating if they haven't got the energy.
Nah, Saliba did both. He went to the bench and then went to meet them again in the corner, bro. Saliba was on a bad one, man.
I just want to get your thoughts really on what you're seeing, you know, on and off the pitch, from the tea lady to, you know, listen, the guys on the pitch. I mean, listen, I'm whoever wants to chime in, man.
I think, you know what? I think the rapport. First of all, I'll kind of divert a little bit. I think the rapport between the players and the fans, or the squad or the club and the fans, is at an all-time high.
Yeah.
Outside of when we were winning major trophies, because when we were winning major trophies and Premier Leagues, you know, like in 2004 and stuff, you know, that there was always going to be a feel-good factor because you're winning a major trophy. So for me, I would say it's kind of unmatched in terms of that rapport between, you know, the love between, you know, the fans and the club. I think for a long time it had somewhat diminished, or somewhat, you know, I admit it, you know, I've always watched Arsenal, I've always followed Arsenal, but there were times when my feeling towards the club and my emotion towards the club was just in a really kind of dark place. But in terms of this squad and the togetherness of the squad, I don't think I've seen an Arsenal side for the entirety of me supporting this club more together than this team. Yeah. I feel like previous squads where we were successful and we were winning, I think there was maybe a lot more confidence and arrogance and swagger and, you know, just kind of vavavoom about the place. In terms of, and I loved that. I loved it. You know what I mean? I loved that vibe, you know, having that aura that we're going to win and we know we're going to win. How many we're going to get? That's great. But in terms of togetherness and unity, I've not seen it as good as I'm seeing it right now. Yeah. And it's been a gradual process for me. Since Arteta came to the club, I was not his biggest fan. And that was straight from the appointment. But season on season, game on game, you could see it. You could see it building. And I think this season, you really kind of saw the end game. You know, you're kind of seeing the whole thing come together, because obviously along the way, there have been bumps in the road. We've had to get rid of players, you know, sacrifices here, there, and other, whatever. But yeah, I think the rapport between the fans and the club is at an all-time high based on since we've been winning major trophies. But in terms of that togetherness, nah, I've not seen an Arsenal team that together in the whole time I've supported the club.
No, I mean, yeah. No, go.
Go on, Nigel. I'll go after you.
To bounce off what G said, I agree with nearly everything he said apart from the most together he's seen. For me, the Invincibles, for the most together, because you could get Vieira, he looks down to Lehman, who looks down to Henry, looks down to like all the way down to the end, and they knew what time it was. Them boys were together through the trenches and back. They drew them out of the trenches, bro. Them boys were close. So I hear it, but when these guys go over the line, we'll revisit that conversation. But as of now, this team, what I can say is it's the most together I've seen at the Emirates. Since we've moved to the Emirates, this is the most the fans and the team have been together. The noise, obviously, I've not had the chance to go to the Emirates since I've
missing out, boy.
For a while. It's a beautiful
thing. You know what I'm saying? I think I last went like 3 years ago or something like that. So I haven't experienced this new emotions and the loudness and everything going on right now. But what Arteta's done is he's brought the fans and the team together. And I remember there was, at the start of his tenure, I was indifferent when they got him, because that's not who I wanted. Let's be honest. I didn't want him, because I'm thinking, we got Armoury, like there's a lot of problems at this club. Why would you bring this novice in to deal with all these problems? Now, let's be honest, to deal with all these problems as his first appointment, it doesn't make sense. Like, at least maybe we can get him once we fixed a lot of the problems, because it'll be more stable. But I was like, how is this man going to do it? So he won the FA Cup, which obviously bought him some time. I was like, let's see what happens in it. Then the next season, I'm not going to lie, the Villarreal game, that was me done with it. The Villarreal, ESR, false nine, all sorts of madness. I was like, what the heck? But the beginning of last summer, as I've said it on streams before, how he kind of ignored what the popular opinion of players that we wanted to buy. He was like, no, I know what I'm about to do at Arsenal. I'll tell you what I want. Do you get what? It wasn't like, oh yeah, we like this guy, that goes like, no, I'll tell you, I want Ramsdale. I know you ain't heard of Tomiyasu, but I have. I've been scouting him for a bit. I know you ain't heard of this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know. So I was like, as much as I'm not expecting him to win the league, let me give this man a chance. And what do I expect of this man? What his abilities is and what he has. I said, okay, top 6 last season. That's what I wanted. He got me top 5, even though we kind of bottled top 4, whatever, as the season went on. So this season, I was like, top 4. And even though people said he can't deal with big personalities, I don't think it even is that yet. And we won't even, this is what I'll say it was, because I thought it was that. What it was, he needed to clean up the squad, because those big personalities were overall weren't the best examples of like the standards of training and being on time, respect, as good as they were as players. And I love Aubameyang and etc. But he needed to clean that up. And I guarantee you, if there is a big personality, quality player out there now in this current environment, Arteta know they fear to buy that player, because even if he's a bad egg, how good the environment will sniff him out quick, because it's so positive there right now. You can't even last if you're a bad egg. You either get shipped out or you get on board now. Whereas if you joined at that time, it was a madness. It could have been a ripple effect. So, boy. So, yeah, big up Arteta for that, man.
100%.
I hear that. I just want to, let me jump in and just say, like, what Kunle's saying, I agree. The non-negotiables, which everyone dissed. Oh, he's talking rubbish. What's he talking about? This is our captain. This is this, that, and the other. He had his theory, and it was the non-negotiables. And that is what's kick-started all of this. I think Kunle summed it up really well. It's an aura we've got now. Like you said, Mihailo Mudryk, he seems like a character. The fact he's out tweeting before he's even moved club, he's got a personality about him, which, not say he doesn't care about things, but do you know what I mean? What player tweets like that when he's still at a club. Do you know what I mean? So, but him coming into this dressing room, it's a case of this is how we're doing things. You have to. This is the standard we set. We don't fall below that, and it's going to bode well for the future. In terms of that Invincibles, it was different. But again, I think there's two different questions in there. There's that you look to your left, you look to your right, you're going to war with these guys. And I think the Invincibles had that. They had that presence.
In abundance.
Do you know what I mean? That was that, but you never know what it was like behind the scenes. Where I think we're in a spoiled era right now where we get to see a lot.
We know everything. Yeah, literally.
We know what's going on. We can see the friendship groups. We can see what they're like in training when they do their 5v5 tournaments in training and win, and we see all of it. So there's definitely, do you know what I mean? It's got its benefits and its negatives, because I remember when we used to win and Mustafi says back on top, that used to drive me mad because we're sixth in the league. What are you talking about back on top? Like, so do you know what I mean? Whereas before we didn't really have that. But when you hear stories about like Ian Wright, like opening the window in the changing rooms and celebrating with the fans, like it's definitely getting back to that kind of environment. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely a big connection. And I just hope it lasts. I think what's benefiting this Arsenal team now with the connection is we've been starved for so long. Like we lost our identity. Regardless if we picked up the FA Cup here and there, I feel we really lost the identity. And as a fan base, we've been crying out for this. So it feels even sweeter now than it did then. Again, I was a young boy when I started supporting Arsenal. Big up Righty. But so I've always, do you know what I mean? That was always kind of like we was doing well. So it was, we might have a bad year, but we'll come back. So it was just like, oh, it would be all right. So I never had that dip like I had recently. So, but with the big dip comes the sweeter victory. And I think that's what the Arsenal fans are going through now, isn't it? It's because it feels we've waited a long time to be here. So you're kind of, you can feel it in the air. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's a nice environment. I love the fact when we concede, the fans cheered it, get the team going again. And I think it's those little differences. I don't know if we had that in the Invincibles. We probably sat there like, don't even care anyway, because Armoury ain't scored yet. So what you cheering for? It was more that, and it was the arrogance of, that ain't nothing. What, you scored one and you think you're cheering? Like, you're mad. You know who we got on the pitch? Like, whereas now it's more of a, we got you. Like, we've got you. Do you know what I mean? You've looked after us the last 3 games. We got you in this game. Let's get you going. And that, so it brings a warm feeling. So I can't tell you which one was better. For obvious, but I'm just loving what I'm feeling right now at the club. So man, this long may it continue. And we're heading in the right direction. So fingers crossed.
And I think all 3 of you have summed this up superbly. And it's just beautiful, man. Everyone, all 3 of you said beautiful things, man. I had the tear to my eye, man. Seriously.
Just one thing, Canners. I know I don't want to carry on for too long, but I don't know if you lot remember towards the end of Armoury and them, man, the atmosphere was starting to die. You heard the story about Gallas telling Fabregas he got to get out of the chair, that's Henry's seat. Things like that. There was a hierarchy. Fabregas even said like it was hard playing with Henry because it was just you got to get the ball to Henry. And Henry was a man you could see he demanded a certain excellence. Do you feel that almost kind of broke that team because it was Henry's expecting? I expect winners with me. Like I've had Vieiras, I've had Petit, I've had Gilbert, I've had winners with me, and now you're bringing these technical players who are. This team, do you think it would probably last longer than that last crop did? Because I feel I don't think we have the big egos like we had then. So the drop off might not be. If that makes sense to you.
But
I
Gallas,
hear you, but I think
was worse than Henry. Gallas, when he did that strop, it's a 2000.
Don't get me talking about that.
Yeah,
guy.
you know,
he didn't play for Arsenal as far as
when Eduardo broke his leg.
He played for Chelsea and Tottenham, bro. He didn't play for us.
The thing for me is egos can come with winning. So I think it's a case of right now, I think what Arteta has done is obviously he's got rid of, those egos in the dressing room. There's a real togetherness there. However, we go on to win the Premier League or win other trophies very easily.
Potentially. You never know.
Yeah, it can happen. All it takes is for somebody to get, feel they're a bit too big for their boots. And, I'm sure Arteta is in a position where he will sniff that out in no time. But that was my thing about when I compared the togetherness of this squad with that squad. I mean, you're talking about world-class players. And I think it's easy to emulate or create or come across as a togetherness when you are that good. I mean, because what real hardship did they endure? I mean, they were so, and this is not a criticism.
Wait.
No, but listen, they were just so good. They were so good at football that they didn't lose
physically.
games.
Even physically, you couldn't.
That team. Don't you remember the trenches that team went through? The amount of we lost the FA Cup final, we lost the UEFA Cup final. We missed like the league runners up like 2 years in a row. They went through the trenches too. Henry didn't come to our club world class.
But this team,
Ljungberg wasn't world class when he came to our club.
But this team, again, it's very young. There's zero expectation. The manager is young. I mean, I'm not saying that team didn't have the togetherness. I'm not saying that, but I just think it's like anything in life. I think when everything's going kind of, if you look at it like probability, you know, if you go through a week and, you know, in that week, you know, no drama happens. You just kind of get up, you go to work, you come home, you know, you got a dinner waiting for you. You watch Netflix with the missus. You go home.
That's the insight to life right now.
You're blessed, man. You're sweet. Do you know what I mean? But you get up, you go to work, you lose your wallet. Brethren, I lost my wallet. What am I going to do? You know, I just feel like this team, the togetherness, this team, come on, this team could just collapse. And really and truly, I just feel like when we look at this team, I think we're looking at what they've shown us, you know, over the first half of the season. But really and truly, when you look at that team and you look at what Arteta has created, I think it's just beyond belief how together they are, because they're all kids, relatively, and you're asking them to face situations, scenarios that many of them have either not come across or would struggle to deal with, and they're bouncing back. I mean, you know, when you look at Armoury, you look at the Invincible side. Like for me, it's a lot easier for the Invincible side to bounce back or pull it out of the bag than it is this young.
I hear it.
Like, so that's just my thing. I think I stand by it. I think this team is far more together. Not far more together, but I think this team is showing more togetherness and strength from a place of vulnerability in comparison to the Invincibles. Because they were just so good. Like when somebody is that good, you know, it's just
arrogant with it.
Yeah, it's like Mayweather. It's like he never hit the canvas. He never tasted defeat. So, you know, I think Chris Eubank actually said it when he said the measure of a man. The measure of a man is when he actually, because somebody said about Mayweather being, I know I'm going back to boxing, but somebody said about Mayweather being the greatest ever. And he was like, but you can only measure a real champion off the back of a defeat. Like that's how you measure. You know, and when I look at this team, there have been so many instances this season where they could have just collapsed, they could have just folded, they could have not bounced back. And yeah, we went for a little bit of a blip, but you look at the way they responded in that Villa game. Yeah. I mean, yeah, man. I don't know.
Listen, no. Listen.
I think this team is very special.
I think you're echoing and you're saying what a lot of people feel, and I think it probably goes back to, you could even say, you know, the Newcastle game last year, you know, which we lost. And, you know, it was kind of like, you could say, a blessing in disguise in some respects, in the sense that, you know, they went through that pain and they know how it feels to say, we don't want that again. And practically all that team basically is together with that are there today. Listen, guys, it's been absolutely amazing. This has. But I know, G, you had the last word there, but I want to give it actually to the guys in the comment sections just quickly, and then we're gonna call it a night. Obviously, in the same topic, James is, you know, as I said, this is the most excited I've ever been as an Arsenal fan. The players are now admitting what I felt at the end of last season. I love this team. Listen, the thing is, and James is one of our youngers, so for him, he's never we've been spoiled.
Like.
We've been spoiled. So he's been through more pain than we have.
Real talk. He ain't got good memories yet. He's like,
he ain't got good memories.
Just pain. He's got pain. He's got some FA Cups though, still.
He's
But
got,
it's not that.
yeah,
It's not the same. It's not the same.
but it's nothing like winning the
It's not the
league,
same.
man,
Yeah.
and remembering what that feels like. I tell you, James, again, one thing that summarizes this Arsenal team. You know, when the technical analysts in the media box or stadiums are fighting for Arsenal, you know this is special. It's so true. Luke, how you doing? You're obviously saying that Clough was 37. Damn, in 17. Dalglish was 34. But hey, they're Div 1 stats there.
Not Prem.
Not
Prem.
But no, he's right. Luke's right. Football didn't exist before the Premier League, and we won a few titles back then. You know, pre-92. So, you know, there were some good ones. You know, 89 for being one. Look, it's real. It hurts to admit. But that season, that team beat Arsenal, and the team was crazy after winning the double. Man United did get luck, but they won 3 titles. Also, something never done. Also, yeah, their treble kind of thing. You know what I'm saying is like back to winning the league 3 times. Hey, that's a serious feat, really. I'm not saying it's better than an invincible season, but it just shows that a squad. It's a strong squad, and Alex Ferguson's powers of recreating a squad is huge, in my opinion. The amount of teams he's had to kind of, disband and then create into a next championship winning team.
Klopp could learn something from that still.
True, 100%, boy. He's got the 7-year itch, hasn't he? Albert, Flo, what? Listen, it's good to see you, brother, man. How you doing, man? Listen, I saw the pictures of that Villa for the first time. That was one hell of a game for you to be at your first away game. I mean, everyone tells me the away games are the ones to be at, and especially if you went to that kind of game, that must have been amazing. So I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, come on, man, 2-1 down at half time. Yeah, gosh, that must have been scenes in that section. Sheesh. And Martinez scoring a diving header at the end.
Hey, man, like Emmy, doing one for the team. Once a gooner, always a gooner. My God.
And that him and Leno gave us a goal this year.
Yeah. They understood the assignment. They understood the assignment.
They know what time it is. They probably got a little clause in their contract, guy. If Arsenal win the league in the next 5 years, you get a big bonus.
A sprinkle bonus.
Yeah, boy.
Mr. Fox, how you doing, sir? Yeah, it's true. The mainstream media continue to write us off, and I hope they do, really, because when if they do continue to write us off, it will make it all that more sweeter. 100%, 100%. Hey. Listen, man, you three, man, speaking 100% facts. There's harmony amongst the team and fans. Yes, they are good. The minority who want to downplay and only want to rant, but generally the vibes are good. Let's get that trophy. That's 100%. You know what? And the thing is, I'm not sure if you guys can ever see it on the TV, but there's this little section in the clock end that all wear black t-shirts.
Yeah, man, I've seen them.
Those guys, it's like, I don't know, in Real Madrid, you can see it. They have there's like an all white section in one. Yeah, and we've got that. And those guys all game long banging drums, doing whatever. And do you know what the thing is that I hadn't seen that before, and getting that now, and obviously the start, we start with the song and everything. The whole place is rocking by the time kickoff comes, man. I love the Emirates right now, man. It's great. It's got a soul now. Do you know what I mean? Someone's just kind of breathe life into that place now, man. Luke, Tony, I firmly believe the likes of Coleman. Yeah, jinx us. It's obviously Coleman, I think, is United supporter. But listen, Jordan, Invincibles were mad together, holding hands when they came. Oh yeah, I remember them ones there, boy. Coming at the change room, huddling in the middle and pitch.
Yeah, these are the first men that really did all this stuff, These huddling in the middle of the pitch. Hey, these lot were tight. What are you saying about my boys, bro? Huh?
Listen, man.
And that tunnel was tight.
It's easy to be solid when you're that
real
good,
talk. Man. It was
the real time you see like what someone's made of is through adversity. So I'm not saying they weren't together, but you got to give these boys their credit, man.
No, 100%.
I said they won 90% of them games. Were won in the tunnel. You look to your left and you see them man standing there. It's game over. Do you know what I mean? And
100%.
A couple of little war cries.
They looked at the togetherness of that.
They saw the Vicks on the chest and they knew what time it was. Boy.
You see what good was doing there,
guys.
more like More like they
Hey, G, it's the end of the show, bro. Stop. Yeah, go on, Kenneth.
Wait, we ain't
the togetherness, yeah.
We haven't voted yet, though. We haven't voted. Before we go, none of us have said. I know what Kunle's is. Kunle's is Invincibles. He's kind of made it clear.
Okay.
G, you're saying current squad. Canners, what we saying? Current squad or Invincibles? Because you sat on the fence the whole evening, so I'm not letting you get away with it. Answer that question before we go.
Don't be scared, Candace.
Let me
Do
go
the
last.
right thing, bro. Do the right thing.
Let me go last.
I know what Gums
I
is
really
gonna
don't know. I honestly don't know because
he's gonna disappoint me. I can just tell.
No.
What I'm gonna say.
If I have to go, then it has to be Invincibles.
No politician answers either, Gums.
Invincibles.
Nah, I'm gonna say in 20 years' time, am I gonna look back at this and say it was as a big achievement as the Invincibles? And I can't say I will. For now, it feels like that, but in 20 years, I don't think I feel so. I'm gonna go Invincibles.
Hey, that's finished G. That's finished G.
I don't care, man.
That's body bagged.
But you know what? I'll tell you this: if we win it this year and then we drop out of top 4 next year and then we don't get back there for 5 years, I might say this is a better achievement because it was. Do you know what I mean? It was just a one-off. But if this team does what it's meant to do and stays in there for the next few years, then I've got to give it to the Invincibles. So yeah, that's me.
It might be the better achievement, but this one is gonna feel even sweeter though.
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
Sweeter than Invincible.
Yeah.
No. The timing. It's the timing.
And we didn't have these. We didn't have these.
I won't lie. Do you know what? I might be able to enjoy this one more because
imagine doing, bro.
Because of the pain. And because we didn't get to brag on social media in them Thursdays.
Imagine going inside, and doing a 20-year bird and then coming out to see your missus. You mad?
Reclaim what's yours. Reclaim what's yours.
Yeah, he's the winner. G's the winner tonight. G1. Yeah, G1.
Listen, that's gonna be sweet, bro. What different?
Oh my god! You know what? I have to wrap the show up from that one. On that note, listen. There's so many comments in pinging off in the guys in the chat. Thank you so much. You made it go. Kept going for us. Everybody who's watched, please subscribe, hit a like, smash them. Oh man, we'll be back next week, man, on more topics and whatever. But guys, G, Gumsa, Niger, man, it's been amazing. Brilliant. Thank you so much, man. Oh my god.
Great show,
have a great week, goodness. We'll be back.